Ireland has just voted to become the world's first country to divest from fossil fuels. There's a bill that just got passed here. I'll read it. Ireland has voted to be the world's first country to fully divest public money from fossil fuels. The Irish Parliament passed the historic legislation in a 90-53 vote in favor of dropping coal, oil, and gas investment from the 8 billion euros Ireland Strategic Investment Fund, part of the Republic's National Treasury Management Agency. The bill, introduced by Deputy Thomas Pringle, is likely to pass into law for the next few months after it is reviewed by the Financial Committee. And here's what Pringle said: this principle of ethical financing is a symbol to these global corporations that their continual manipulation of climate science, denial of the existence of climate change, and their controversial lobbying practices of politicians around the world is no longer tolerated. Yeah, I mean, this is I'm sure there's other politics at play here, but really this is significant. And this is why I talk a lot about on the show how everything, you start on a local level, and when cities start divesting, and then counties and states start divesting, and then a full country can divest. The United States won't divest as long as we have people like Trump and his entire cabinet is climate change deniers, all of them. So what does give me hope is an article like this, and what gives me hope is the type of people that are running in 2018 to unseat people. Because climate change is here, it's happening, and it is destroying the world. I'll read you this. We cannot accept their actions, meaning the fossil fuel industry, while millions of poor people in underdeveloped nations bear the brunt of climate change forces as they experience famine, mass immigration, and civil unrest as a result. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's not just poor countries. I mean, yes, the third world is already facing just severe weather, and which then brings unrest and brings civil disobedience, because when infrastructures fall apart because of flooding, mass flooding, and drought and all that stuff, then, I mean, that's part of what is contributing to Yemen. Obviously, the main reason what is Yemen is Saudi Arabia and our bombs, and it's awful. It's awful, but they've had severe drought too, so that exacerbates the situation. But let's not just say it's third world countries, because we just had 7 hurricanes hit America last, what was it, August and September? 7. I mean, then we've had crazy wildfires in California that just devastated, I mean, millions of acres, lost lives, billions of dollars, and that is a result of severe drought that we've had here in the West. I mean, it's just, it's America can take it, withstand it right now, but imagine, without this infrastructure and money and all this other, it's pretty severe. So this we need to have severe responses to it, and divesting from fossil fuels is a great way. And it also will send just regular investors away from fossil fuels. Now, I've talked about this before, the carbon bubble. As I said, 3 years ago, the governor of the Bank of England gave a speech saying that the greatest economic threat to the world is the carbon bubble bursting. What happens is all these people are investing in fossil fuels, and with the idea that it's still going to be relevant 20 years down the road. If everyone starts to realize this isn't worth it and pulls out hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, then it can burst. The bubble can burst. And the governor of Bank of England was saying, we need to deflate the bubble, not let it burst. But this is significant. And we need to just move the money into green energy, not just pull it out. So this is a significant thing. I'm glad this is happening, but it's something, you know, the economic effect of this is something we need to follow and see what happens. Just to clarify on this bill, once enacted, the bill would force the Ireland Strategic Investment Fund to sell its investment in fossil fuel industries over the next 5 years. 2015, Norway's sovereign pension fund divested from some fossil fuel companies, but not all. Iceland has gone almost nearly off of fossil fuels, but they still export a little bit of it, from what I understand. So this is significant, and it is a good thing, and it is something I would encourage you to petition your local municipalities and see where your money is invested, where your pensions are invested, and if there's any fossil fuel investment in anywhere, try to get people to and these organizations and governments to divest. So we'll be tracking this as more countries do this and talk about this. It is significant, and as I said before in the show, vote with your dollar. So if you have money that's in investment, make sure your money markets, your IRAs and all this stuff are not invested in fossil fuels. If you're looking into investing, there are I'm not an investment person, but I know you can invest in green energy. You know, you can invest in things that socially and politically are more in line with you versus the oil and the war machine. So that's a way to vote with your dollars. And even if you're just like, oh, Graham, you know, I only have a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 in stocks, I'm not a millionaire. That's significant. A couple $1,000, you know, 100 shares of a stock is significant. They're tracking everything. They're noticing these trends. You better believe they're tracking it. And hearing this kind of news will make the oil industry wake up or do something, or they're at least aware of it. So thanks for following the show. Thanks for paying attention. All my tour dates are below at grahamelwood.com. Come out to the FNX Comedy Experience. And thank you for supporting this show. I'm Graham Elwood, the political vigilante.